Welcome back to the Universal Open Rocket League Midwest Regional, and it's the finals we expected, the best of 5. DAPG taking on Splyce. DAPG the favorite in this one, although Splyce has looked very good getting to the finals. One half of the DAPG combination is Dapper. Let's get to know him.
My name is Chris Mendoza. I go by Dapper. I'm 18 years old from Ontario, California. I've played Rocket League since the game came out in July of 2015. I've probably played more than 3,500 hours in the game. My favorite food is spaghetti. My favorite athlete is Kobe Bryant. My favorite thing to do outside of gaming is photography and filming. If I won the grand prize, the first thing I would buy is a gift for my mom.
How can you not get behind a guy like that? Wants to do something for mom. If you're not familiar, let's take a look at our game format, the rules here at the Universal Open. This is the first major Rocket League tournament to be played in 2v2. Of course, normally we see 3v3, so a bit of a change there, though we have some very successful 3v3 players in this tournament. We are, of course, in the 5-minute games. The best of 5 will determine the top seed going to the grand finals. And then when we look at the Midwest Regional, of course, both finalists advance to the grand finals. We're going to have one winner here that will be the #1 seed, but both finalists will head out to Santa Ana. Here's a look at the teams in the grand finals. As you can see from the U.S. Open Regional, Genesis, It's Lit, Wabi Sabi, and Incognito. Both teams from G2, the G2A and G2B teams from the East Regional, Cloud9 and Ambition Esports from the Northeast. Here in the Midwest, we have DAPG and Splyce, and of course, the grand finals taking place in a couple of weeks out in Santa Ana, California. Everyone vying for a piece of that $100,000 prize pool. Guys?
That's right. Grand finals coming up in a couple of weeks. Of course, we are going to have tickets available to that, so we hope to see you out in person when that happens in Southern California later this month. Of course, guys, I am Kevin Naki, and we are joined here by Mr. Wavepunk and Quinn Lomdell. We're most of the way through these brackets, so it's time to put you guys on the spot and see how good your predictions actually were coming into this. So, Wave, let's start with you. How'd you do today?
So the big one that I got wrong was the Hype versus Runaway. I predicted Hype to come out with a victory there, but Runaway comes and takes it there in 3 games, I believe it was. And I think the only other one that anyone has gotten wrong, I believe you predicted Ethereal to take Enix, didn't you?
Yeah, well, to my credit, that was a pretty close match. The scoreline might say different, but the matches were close, I promise.
That's right, that's right. So you guys were actually both pretty close, all things considered. I think what's important to note here, though, is that you both correctly predicted the finalists, of course. It is going to be DAPG versus Splyce. You guys thought they would be the strongest teams coming into it, but they didn't exactly have an easy road, right? They both went to full 3 games in their quarterfinals. Other teams have looked like they've certainly been on their level of competition, but yet those are the 2 teams that are left. Let's go through a couple of keys to this game here. What do we have to do? What does Splyce have to do if they want to overcome DAPG here?
I mean, we talked about it. You can see it there on your screen. Neither one of these teams has had any sweeps at any point today. They've all lost at least 1 game, and I really don't think that's going to change here. I think both teams will get a win. Neither team will sweep the other, and the big thing for Splyce is to not make the defensive mistakes we saw against Runaway, and they cannot rely on their solo plays. You've got Dapper and Garrett G on the other side of things. If anybody can rely on their solo plays right now, it's Dapper, but I think the passy plays on both sides are going to be lethal.
Right, I would totally agree. I think one thing to think about is that these players are very well integrated with each other. They've played and competed with and against each other many, many times. So there's going to be a lot of mind games, and something that's different compared to the rest of the bracket, honestly, most of the whole tournament and this regional in particular, is that you're going to be playing against players of a level that you're used to, players who you maybe understand a little bit better, and it can be difficult to play against someone who's, you know, not quite at the same skill level. They might be a little bit unpredictable, if you will, right? So I'm actually going to go ahead and say that I think Dapper and Garrett G are going to perform better against Splyce than they have against anyone in the whole tournament.
No kidding. Interesting. So a level of maybe playing up to your competition kind of a thing. All right, guys. Well, we've actually got Michael, who's standing by right now for us on the side with some more information. Michael, take it away.
Well, you were talking about Splyce. They feature gamers Pluto and Karma. Karma, one of the very few women pro gamers in the entire country. Now, we had a chance to talk with them ahead of today's Universal Open. Braden, a.k.a. Pluto, originally went by the name Plutonium Falcon, chose to shorten that for obvious reasons. But for Jamie Bickford, the name Karma comes with a very special meaning.
For me, Karma has a much more deeper meaning, just because, like, growing up, I'd gone through a lot. I had a medical condition when I was younger, and I always believe that, I don't know, if you go through the hard times, then eventually you'll get to the good times and the good things that come out of it. So I just took the meaning of the word and kind of applied it to my life and ran with it.
On one hand, you've got a $100,000 prize pool. On the other hand, you have a huge 2v2 tournament championship hanging in the balance. Is it about the money? Is it about being able to say you're the best? Is it a combination of both?
I think it's a combination of both. I mean, the money's nice, but like you have to pay the bills at the end of the day, but you definitely want to be able to say that you're one of the best in the game.
Yeah, for me, it's not necessarily about the money either. I mean, sure, the money's great that comes with it, but I'm just out here trying to prove myself, prove us as a team and how well we work together, and kind of show that the hard work that we've been doing has been paying off. So the goal right now is to just show everybody that we can do it and make our way to California, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
They are already in the money. Now they want to prove they are the best in the Midwest Regional. Kevin, back to you.
All right, guys, we're ready to start the grand finals here, and game number 1's about to get underway, and we got to look at the players right here. As you guys can see on the left there, that is DAPG. On the left, we have Dapper there, and Garrett G, his teammate, sitting just to the right of him. Then Team Splyce on the other side, Pluto off to the left, Karma off to the right, but the game has begun. Gentlemen, take it away.
Players off to the left and the right. We're off to the races here as we get these finals underway. It will be DAPG in the blue, Splyce in the orange. Best of 5 winner takes the first seed going into Santa Ana here at the end of August. And the favorites right now, I think from both of us, we predicted DAPG to take the victory, but it would not, I honestly would not be surprised to see the upset from Splyce.
Right, I mean, Splyce is a very strong team, and although we're predicting DAPG as the #1 seed, don't get us wrong, Pluto and Karma are no slouches, mainstays of professional Rocket League, so expect to see a close series. I just really like Dapper and Garrett.
Dude, they're both absolute monster players. All 4 of these players are names to be respected in the community. And now you see Splyce trying to get it done on the offense, but unable to get through the wall of defense that is Dapper and Garrett. They'll be able to pick it back up at the midfield after a quick rotation there. Karma going to try and drop this one through, gets the double tap dunk on Garrett. I don't think I've ever even said that before.
Karma controlling her boost so well, and timing and reading the challenge just so pixel perfect. She expects Garrett to hit it right back up to her, and oh boy was she right.
I legitimately don't think I've ever seen Garrett concede a goal in that way.
Yeah, funnily enough, one of Garrett's teammates, Fireburner, he's widely considered to be the best defensive player in North America. If you ask Fireburner, he says it's Garrett.
Yeah.
He says Garrett doesn't let any problem escalate. He's so good at diffusing pressure. And so to see Karma do something to a player as skilled as Garrett, that is no small feat.
And you want to talk about a momentum builder as well. Splyce has got to be feeling good for that to be the first goal of this series. They're going to be feeling good on this one, but they're going to concede a follow-up here, tie game here, game number 1.
Going to be a short-lived feeling, Wade. Unfortunately for Karma, she doesn't take the opportunity to move the ball away from Garrett. And at that situation with Karma so far out of her own net, unable to defend it, she just needs to take the risk immediately and push that ball out of the way of Garrett. It doesn't have to be very far, it just needs to not be right in front of him.
Yeah, as beautiful as that goal was, it's worth as much as the boring ones. They're all worth the same, just 1 apiece. With 3:15 left to go, it's all tied up here in game number 1. Anybody can take at this point. Garrett gonna try and follow this up after Dapper is bumping Pluto in net, but cannot find the angle. Pluto gets in the way and then bumps his teammate Karma as well. It's like a shot towards the net, but tangled up in the midfield here.
Wow, just bumping your own teammate with so much time, and the ability to have a 2v1 in Rocket League is huge because you can let your teammate go and bump the other team, the defender, or you can use them as a passing outlet. Unfortunately, Pluto and Karma are going to get nothing because they bumped into each other.
Bumped into each other in the midfield, not what you want at all. Dapper will to send this one out towards the mid, but Splyce players are all over it. They'll move it upfield. Garrett now into the corner. Pluto rotates into net as Karma tries to get the play. Gets it past Dapper, but he immediately rotates back around to contest and buy Garrett time to get back on defense. As Dapper heads to the net, he's wary of Karma. He saw her approaching to try and demo him. He got away. Pluto to drop this one across.
Oh, an unfortunate touch there from Pluto. He was trying to drop it and he had the right idea, but just too much power is not going to let Karma have any impact on the play.
Ooh, that was a close one there. Pluto couldn't turn around quickly enough and get this one. Dapper's very far out. Oh, and it goes off the post on the near side and just bounces across the net, unable to score. And now Dapper's got the run down the field, getting it through. No, Karma will shut it down, but you got to be hurting if you're on Splyce.
I don't think he had the angle to hit that shot. I think he had to pass it to Karma, and Karma may have been under the impression that he did.
And at this point, they are able to capitalize on this transition. As Splyce was just such in a tizzy after being so close to scoring, them having to fly back on defense. It was only a matter of time before DAPG took the lead.
Right, you see Garrett, he spots Karma lurking above the goal. He takes the time to wait, let the ball drop, and just hit it on the bottom where Karma won't be able to affect the play whatsoever.
1:37 left to go in game number 1, and DAPG with the lead by 1. It's a small lead, but enough to win the game for sure. Karma gets that one over the top. Can Pluto finish this one off? Garrett's there. They back off. They give it space instead of finishing it, and then Pluto finally comes through, gets that one, playing the long con.
I know they got what they were striving to get, the goal, but I'm going to disagree there with that opportunity to just leave Garrett with the ball.
Yeah.
They could have easily bumped him out of the way, and Pluto would have had a great shot right there, but instead, they took the scenic route.
I feel like that's like rule number 1 against playing against Garrett G. Just don't leave him alone with the ball. But here, it works out for them. They tie up the series again, or tie up the game. As we approach this final minute, anybody could take game number 1. Pluto gets carried by Dapper back into the net. I don't think I've ever seen a car travel that far on top of another car in a professional Rocket League game. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to be thankful for that because it also prevented a goal.
Yeah,
being able to stay on the ground.
I want to see that again.
For our viewers at home who are not familiar, if you do get your wheels lifted off the ground, you lose control.
He puts it through. Pluto finds it on the back rotation for defense, and now Splyce has the lead.
Right here, we see Karma look like she's going to hit that backwards, but I guess Pluto called her off of it. Great communication there, especially because both the defenders are out of net, unable to make a save. Pluto definitely made the right call there.
And you know the defenders were more focused on Karma as well, which means that she basically screened Pluto, gave him an opportunity to take a shot without them realizing that's what he was trying to do. But now Garrett in to try and see if he can tie up this game. 35 seconds left, and Dapper up on the wall to get it past 1. Karma's not in a great position to clear this one away. It'll drop in front. Dapper and Garrett G, they failed to communicate in the way that Pluto and Karma did, and now they have a sticky situation. Dapper puts it back into the box, but Garrett's already left. He's already back in his own half. He'll be able to clear this one away because he's there. Get another opportunity, but Karma's there as well. She gets in the way, blocks it away. 12 seconds remaining. Dapper's got to take it on to himself here. Here comes Garrett G. They play it away again. So close, so many opportunities, and nothing to show for it. Still down by 1. Can Garrett G get the boomer down the field? Pluto is there, and he plays it away. Garrett still could possibly shoot, but no, Pluto falls following the ball, gets in the way, and plays it off to the side. They'll let this one touch, and Splyce takes game 1.
That was starting to look incredibly dangerous there towards the end as they were able to keep that ball up, and a few unfortunate touches just minimized what seemed to be a great chance to equalize there at the end.
There was so many chances there at the end, and they just could not get it in the net, could not get it through the defense of Splyce.
And DAPG came out firing 8 shots to 6, and it wasn't enough. Splyce was still able to convert better. They end up taking game number 1. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, we are ready to head to game number 2 of the grand finals as soon as we get back after these messages.
Presented by Rocket League. Play for fun, live to play.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have another great regional for you guys that's still taking place tomorrow before our grand finals towards the end of the month. That's, of course, going to take place in San Francisco. We'll be at the Universal Open Rocket League West Regional. Streams are going to start at 12:30 Central. That's 10:30 a.m. Pacific. Of course, that just means it's going to be a fun early call time for me. But hey, that's all right. Let's go ahead and jump into the games. It's time for grand finals game number 2. Wave and Quinn, it's all yours.
Game number 2 underway. Splyce taking the victory there in game number 1. Only a 1-goal difference on the scoreboard, but it's enough to get the win. Oh. Garrett G hits the double tap, and we start off high flying here in game 2.
Garrett, what? Are you? What a touch here, and then using the booty for that dunk into the goal. What a shot there from Garrett.
11 seconds. 11 seconds into game 2. And I feel like it's like, who's scoring the coolest goal? I still think Karma's double tap at the beginning of the last game was a bit more flashy, but still, you can't discredit that at all. That was incredible from Garrett. And they now have the lead in game 2. Going to look to bounce back, see if they can tie up the series at a game apiece here in our best of 5. Karma now with ball control in front of the box, takes a shot towards the net, gets the bump onto Garrett as well. Are you kidding me?
What? What a bunch of great goals we've seen. Karma controlling the ball. She sees Garrett knocked sideways. She jumps, and it looks like she actually tried to get the ball with her double jump, but unfortunately the touch knocking her car down below. She ends up flying straight underneath that ball and right into Garrett G.
That's not something that happens at this level of play very often. I'll see players set up a ball and then go bump the goalie in the air, and then somebody else finishes it off. But to actually take the shot and bump the goalie yourself, what a play from Karma.
I think it was not intentional, but fortunate circumstances, and she spotted the opportunity.
Dude, after the doubles tap she hit in game number 1, I'll believe anything that Karma does at this point. Oh, here's a dangerous one. Garrett G drops it down nice and soft, rotates to the bottom of his car, touches it with his wheels so he gets the softest touch possible, drops it straight underneath all the defenders.
It looked like Karma tried to get a touch on it first, and then as she saw the ball go up, it looked like she misread the trajectory, and unfortunately for her, Garrett G, he does not misread that trajectory and goes right in to score that goal.
These guys playing the quality of Rocket League we expected out of the grand finals between these two teams. Carmen passed back towards Pluto. It's over his head. Dapper will rotate while Garrett G tries to come up. Play that one away. Dapper now downfield. Ball control past Karma. She plays it over to the side. The last pixel of her car, it felt like, interacting there. Dapper takes a shot towards the backboard. Karma just slowly, patiently picks it up, sends it towards the net. Garrett will play it over to the side. Dapper rotates into net behind him, and they'll look to move out here. Pluto over the top. Both Splyce players in the blue corners as Pluto looks to boost Starve. Picks up one. They pick up the one in front as well. And while this ball's going to move into the orange, there's a lot of momentum here behind Splyce as they have completely starved him out. Karma should be able to take the shot. She does. We've got a tie game.
Yeah, great dunk here from Karma right on top of Garrett G. It looked like he was going to be able to clear that, but no, Karma comes in from the side. And how fortunate that bounce was that she hit the ball quite hard, but the bounce seemed to really slow that ball down to land right in front of her. She's going to take that any day.
When they both moved out, almost just very, very low on boost and very difficult for them to get back in time for that one. Well played here by Splyce as they tie it up yet again. Such an even series here. I don't think we've ever had a lead of more than 1 point the entire series in games 1 or 2. Now Pluto down into the middle. Karma's there. Dapper goes up high, gets bumped out by Pluto, but still manages to make the save as Karma took her time taking the shot, and now the breakaway all the way down the field into the goal, and it's DAPG back with the lead.
I mentioned earlier how imperative it is to clear the ball on target. It lets you get opportunities like this. There's nobody there who can save it. They recognize that both of the attackers were out of the play. They had overcommitted, and Garrett G with an easy capitalization.
Now 2:46. We're not even across halftime here in game 2. We've already had 5 goals across both sides. Is this just okay? 6 goals. How did this happen? How did they let this in? Dapper comes out. Garrett G went for boost, and is he on the wall? Yeah, he expected Dapper to have control of that.
Get baked. That's all I got to say. What a great fake kickoff. We haven't really talked about fake kickoffs yet for our new TV audience. Fake kickoffs opting to give up immediate control of the ball or like an advantage in order to gain possession and be able to create a passing opportunity. if other teams do predict it, if you try and use it too much, it can actually work against you. But right there, we saw it work out perfectly.
Karma now in the air. Pluto coming up behind. Dapper sends it over to the side. Now Garrett G moving up. The 50-50 goes entirely in his favor. Now he's got it towards the backboard. Going for Karma in goal. Pluto will try to hold on to it in the corner and allow her to get resituated. But Dapper and Garrett G, so much pressure right up in the box. Now Karma and Pluto trying to move this one down. Can they get there before Dapper comes across? Now he'll send it over to the side, shut down that possibility of taking the lead. It's been the lead in favor of DAPG this entire game, but Splyce has stayed right there, toe-to-toe with them the whole time.
Yeah, as one scores, the other team equalizes. This is a very well-matched team, and we actually see Pluto and Karma.
Oh, that pinch works out in their favor. I thought Karma's presence would make it go off in some different direction here, but Garrett and Dapper, they make it work and they get their lead back.
No, she actually ends up hitting it up to the side, and Dapper with a very good just touch right there off the wall to keep the ball moving forward and across the goal line.
Now 1:45 left to go here. It is DAPG again with the lead, but can Karma do it? It's just Dapper in net. He hangs back in a bit, and then he challenges as Garrett G comes in behind. They'll muscle this one through, but Pluto over the top. It's an open net right now. Dapper puts it behind Pluto and away from Karma, who is lurking in the midfield, waiting for the opportunity. She gets it through Dapper. Garrett G downfield, and now you've got Dapper upfield. Where is he going with this? Towards the net, upper 90, beautiful placement. No goalie's even close to it. Now a 2-goal lead for DAPG.
Who cares if a goalie's close to it? There's no goalie saving shots as fast as this. I mean, what a difficult shot to save. I mean, the read from Dapper there is so good. It's so difficult to really aim shots there along the sides of the field, and Dapper just showing how it's done.
He's got the 2-goal lead now for DAPG, the most comfortable lead they've had yet in the series. Because they lost game number 1 and they want to win game 2 here to tie it up and not give Splyce match point. If they were to lose this one, they'd have to reverse sweep Splyce to take the victory here in Chicago. But it's looking like they'll be able to tie it back up, and we will have quite the even series on our hands. Dapper over the top and into the box. Garrett G hanging in the back, waiting to see what his teammate does. And there's Karma now. Into the blue, over the top of Pluto, who gets demoed. And at this point, Garrett G's just buying time. A demolition on a Karma as well. They should be able to take a shot towards the net. Pluto will be able to play it off to the side. The shot was straight at him. They'll look to play this one down. 30 seconds now remaining in game 2. They need to score 2 just to send us into overtime. You have a tie game at the end of regulation in Rocket League. You go into sudden death with the first team to score wins. Garrett out towards Dapper. No connection. And Garrett G, though, he's playing the ball into his own half, but at this point, he doesn't mind. All he needs to do is just keep ball control. Just keep them from being able to take any sort of shots. And with that pinch going over to the side, all but securing the victory here for DAPG in game number 2. And it'll go to the other end of the field. They'll let that one down. And game 3 will be inbound with a tie series.
Yeah, there we have it. So DAPG actually ends up taking the win there. They tie up the series 1-1. We are going to head to a quick little break, and as soon as we get back, it's going to be time for game number 3 of the grand finals of the Midwest Regional of the Universal Open Rocket League Tournament.
Universal Open is presented by Rocket League. Play for fun, live to play.
Finals of the Universal Open Rocket League Midwest Regional. We want to remind you all that the finals are coming up on August 26th and 27th at the end of the month in Santa Ana, California at the Esports Arena. We will be streaming live at 8 p.m. Eastern on the 26th and 5 p.m. Eastern on the 27th through Twitch and the NBC Sports app. Now, of course, we will have broadcasts that night that are actually happening on NBC Sportsnet as well. Hope you guys will check those out. But for now, it's time to jump into game number 3.
Let's get into game 3. Look at the fake there from Dapper right off the bat. He's going to try and do it twice to Pluto here, but Garrett G will send that one away. If you're just joining us, it's been a high-flying, action-filled game here. Game number 1 going to Splyce, game 2 going to DAPG, and now in game 3 of our best-of-5 series, we will see who is able to take the advantage and put themselves just one game away from being the number 1 seed from Chicago going to Santa Ana at the end of the month.
Right, they are playing for that seed, like you said, and both teams really in our game 1 and 2 just completely changing roles with regards to fashion of winning the game. Both teams so dominant in their own respective ways. It's going to be interesting to see what happens here in our game number 3.
Well, no immediate spectacular goals off the kickoffs like we saw in the last game, but here's Garrett G finding the angle and the save from Karma. I felt guaranteed that that was in, but she finds a way underneath and the ball to put it out of her own net. What a play.
That angle from Karma on that save was incredible.
Dapper now to play this one out, and Pluto to rotate. Garrett G and Dapper very close to each other. Dapper will space out to the midfield. Looking for a shot opportunity, going to try and demo Karma here. And it's just Pluto versus Garrett G, but Pluto airborne significantly earlier than Garrett G will have the advantage. Dapper just has to play this one over the side while his teammate gets set up in net. Now Dapper back out. Another bump. Despite the high-flying action here from DAPG, they have yet to score here in game 3. So we are approaching halftime here. About a 45 seconds out, and neither team yet to find the back of the net. Karma will pick it up in her own half as Pluto lurks upfield of her. She'll look to pass it across, but doesn't get the angle. And Pluto, recognizing his opportunity was gone, falls back just to try and buy time, see if they can get another push set up here as Dapper comes in. Try and push that one through. It pitches off. I think it is. It'll go. Oh, it goes just off the post, just wide of the goal. That's DAPG dodging a bullet.
I mean, it's so risky in 2v2 when we see those clears come in, and for you to be going on this high-pressured offense with as much interference play as we were seeing. This is really some great Rocket League. Neither team opting to play defensively like how you might have expected. Instead, both teams trying to interrupt any sort of offense whatsoever. You see Pluto turning in front of Garrett. He wants to prevent Garrett from distributing the ball and maneuvering up the field however Garrett wants.
Garrett G now up onto the backboard. Pluto drops this one straight down. Garrett's able to put it up again. But Dapper has to be careful. He's either got to score or buy lots of time for Garrett to get back, but because he was in the enemy net, he has to move back downfield. There's nobody on defense in the back there, and he was the next one in the rotation. So now able to get away from that one. Dapper bought him the time he needed, and he's got an opportunity to score here. Gets it past Karma, plays it behind her, and that's DAPG with the lead.
This is where Dapper is most dangerous. You see him, he pushes the ball into open space, Karma on his left, and he recognizes, you see him actually tilt his card to the right. He does that in order to get even more of an angle towards the left behind Karma. He recognized that Karma was gonna think she needed to jump across the net, and she did. Unfortunately, Dapper's timing is just a little too fast for her.
Oh, quick pass plays to remove Pluto from the play. Now it's just Karma. He comes in from the back to try and demo Dapper. And there's enough interference where no goal is scored here. Karma will play it over the side, and they'll get away from that sticky situation. But Dapper now to come through, trying to move it upfield. Pluto and Garrett G here. The 50-50 going off to the side as Karma falls back, not wanting to be caught by a quick pinch play. She now high flies in to move this one out. Pluto looking for Karma. Is this pinch going in? Karma's not quite there, but it's also wide. 2 pinches we've seen now that just barely going wide of their respective nets.
Right. In fact, a very low-scoring game as a whole with 1 goal. This is the smallest goal margin I think we've seen, or not goal margin, sorry, the smallest
total goals.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Thank you.
For sure. I mean, we're now hitting the final minute of game 3. At this point, that 1 goal might be the only goal that matters in game 3. Dapper to pinch that one around. What a pinch off the wall. If Garrett had hung out in the middle, you'd have had an opportunity to shot, and Pluto was a bit flustered trying to get to that one in time. He and Karma now moving up. If they score one, be tied up, and we'll have to at least go to overtime. Gets the demolition on to Garrett. Karma to try and turn this one around, but Dapper just followed right along, zoning her out the whole time. She tries to take the shot, does not look for Pluto behind her, and Garrett G's able to move this one back out. 30 seconds remaining. They're still up by 1.
I think Karma was trying to push that ball into space. Oh, is it?
So that one goes in. Okay, we've had 3 pinches, and finally one goes in, and it gives us a tie game.
Yeah, a great clear here off to the wall, into space, and off the bounce. She's able to get so much power here. Dapper on the side of the field is in no man's land. We talked about that so many times today. Just again, a quick recap. That's where you're not defending your goal or able to affect the ball in play. And as a result, we're gonna see a goal and an even up game.
Now DAPG.
15 seconds left.
Yeah, for sure. DAPG and Splyce both in a position where they have to score one more if they want to get that win that they had just so close to their grasp. So there was only 17 seconds left, and Dapper here could do it, but he misses. Garrett G takes a follow-up shot blocked away by Karma. He's going to have to carry this one high, but I don't think he has the boost to do it, and it's going to touch the ground. We'll have overtime in Game 3. Next goal takes the lead in the series.
With no fake kickoff this time.
They'll play that one away. Play it true. Go for the truest of 50-50s, the kickoff. Dapper and Karma just following along with each other. He's going to try and play this one away. 2 players very high and now low on boost for DAPG. But Dapper will be able to play that one away. He gets demoed. I bet he actually spawns with more boost than he had because of how much flight he had just been doing without picking up anything. Pluto in the corner. Dapper to interfere. Karma's just watching the mid, just waiting for an opportunity. Garrett to try and wrap this one around. She'll switch places with Pluto here.
And a great touch from her is going to buy some spice and a time to rotate and grab boost as well, especially for Pluto. We haven't seen as much boost control as you typically see because both players are so apprehensive about conceding a goal in overtime.
Ooh, Karma going for the dribble plays. Garrett plays it high. Gets in the way, reads the dribble well. And a minute will come and go in overtime. Neither team finding a way to score. Next goal wins the game. Garrett G up on the backboard. Dapper gonna try and follow this one along. Not the most ideal of setups. Oh. And this shot towards the net just blocked by Garrett G as he gets us up in time. But this has been the Splyce ball game right now, as they seem to have all of the control and all of the formative shots. Finally, Garrett's able to break it onto the backboard. And Dapper's just falling back, though. He turns around to try and buy time for Garrett G. But again, it's Splyce taking the meaningful touches. Now here comes Garrett G. This is the best setup we've seen from DAPG yet. Dapper in the air. Can he drive up behind Karma one more time? No, she knew it was coming this time. Plays it away, and we'll keep playing as we head towards our 2nd minute of overtime. Pluto in the air looking for Karma, but does not find her. Garrett G plays it away.
Such patient defending there from Karma. She's been showing us how good of a defender she is all day long.
Dapper moving back as Garrett G moves up. He tried to dunk it through Pluto, but he gets in the way. Now Dapper underneath Pluto in front of the box. It does not go in, though. Garrett G all the way in the back, not going to commit 2 into the box, not in overtime. It's the thing with 2v2. If you commit 2 players, you have to score, or the chances of you being scored on the counter play are so strong, and it's just better just to wait. At this point in overtime, you just want to wait for the mistake.
Yeah, any type of touch or effect on the play that you have, any type of impact, it has to be able to buy time so that your teammates can reposition themselves and get enough boost to be able to make a save should it come to it.
Both Pluto and Karma up in the corner. Karma starts to back off a little bit, and then Pluto on the rotation will fall back. Just trying to buy time here. Garrett gets it through. Can he finish this one off? There's Dapper in front of the box. That time it'll go through. And DAPG, 2 games in a row now, they've bounced back, and 1 more will send them into the finals.
And Pluto with just a little bit too much worry there.
Yeah, unfortunately for Splyce right there, they go down 2-1, but it's time to head to game number 4 right after this quick break here at the Universal Open Rocket League Midwest Regionals. Regional Championship from our CSN studios in downtown Chicago. We have gone through 3 games of the grand finals here between Splyce and DAPG, with DAPG taking the lead 2-1 after winning the last 2 games. But it's time now to jump into game number 4 and see if DAPG can win the championship.
It's definitely time. They are 1 game away from being your Chicago champions here and taking the first seed from this regional going into Santa Ana. But Splyce, they want to send it to the critical game 5. And they've been so close. Every game has been very, very close between these guys, going to overtime in game number 3. Dapper looking to possibly set up Garrett G. He's going to back off on the ball control from Karma. She's going to spend a lot of boost dribbling this out just to midfield, trying to hold on to ball control while she moves it out. Garrett G able to play this one down towards the net. Saved by Karma. Shot off the wall, very deadly.
This pressure here from DAPG, so intense. Actually, in the last game, we saw 16 shots coming from DAPG to a total of 3 for Splyce. Unfortunately, we didn't see many goals, and I think the result of that is just the ability to put the ball on goal for a clear, Wavepunk, right? And just giving them an inflated number of shots, the actual amount of pressure they put on, not nearly as effective as the numbers might lead you to believe.
On the defense of Karma and Pluto is nothing to sneeze at. You can see it right there. Great shot, great passing in front of it. Pluto unfazed as he gets that one through. You've talked about before that he is a very defensively minded player. And while sometimes that means he's not as valuable on the offense, you won't be in the place he needs to be on offense. He is right where he needs to be on the defense more often than not. We'll stay scoreless with 3:29 left to go. Splyce playing for the title here. They have to win this one to get into game 5. And they need that game 5 if they want to take that first seed. Karma now trying to play this one. Just hoping to fake out Garrett, but the veteran player, he knows the tricks up Karma's sleeve. And he'll come back down. He'll play it over to the side, just playing it away from her. Plays it away from his own teammate as well, but Dapper in a good, what? Is this going to go? No, please play it to the side. Dapper gets it away. We don't need own goals in the finals, guys. Come on.
We saw Garrett G actually stop in his tracks. I'm sure he was confident that that was going in.
That would have been quite frustrating. Luckily, Dapper's there to bail him out, and they'll come on the counterattack, nearly scoring. If it weren't out for the defense of Splyce, they've been a wall all series, all day long, to be completely honest. And now another pinch all the way down. This one will go just wide, but we saw those coming to play in the last game as well.
And a great bump there from Pluto actually knocks Dapper away from the ball. It looked like he had that shooting opportunity, but Pluto and Karma, we talk about their defense so often. These guys are doing whatever it takes. Bombs, demos.
Garrett G now following this ball in the air. Pluto's there, and he just plays it straight over the top of the star striker. Dapper keeps the pressure on, looks for Pluto in net. Unable to get the zone or the demo. Pluto's touch is soft. Karma will play it towards the backboard, and it'll be Dapper picking this one up off the rebound. Karma across the field to Pluto. Dapper chases as Garrett is set up on the defense here. And now the clear all the way downfield. Is that going in? Can Karma get there? She does. Gets up in just the nick of time. Every sort of shot right now is within the grasp of Splyce. Their defense holds them clean. 140 left to go, and we have yet to score in Game 4.
And something we do see, on the other hand, is Dapper and Garrett really opting to put both of their entire team on the other team's half. I mean, they're really putting on so much pressure.
Oh, it goes out. Garrett had gotten it past Karma, but because of her positioning, he had to move the ball away, and she basically zones him out of his own shot. He's not able to score because of where she was on defense. It was either have her interact with the ball or lose or just miss the shot and maintain ball control. So they missed that one there. Final minute of Game 4 is about to hit, and we have yet to see anybody score, Quinn.
Oh, this might be the first time.
Nope, the defense from Splyce. It's just always there, man. They continue to get through. Dapper finds another angle towards the net, but Karma gets it away. And now Garrett G sacrifices ball control basically as he lofts that one, and Karma has the read. Pluto in the midfield moves up to try and take a shot over the top of Dapper towards the net. Garrett pinches it off to the side, but nobody's in a good position right now. Dapper just has to carry it away, and Garrett was following along, so their defense is still a muck here for DAPG. Pluto trying to set up Karma, but now Karma challenges on the wall. Pluto backs off to maybe get boost. I'm not really sure. It feels like Karma's a little bit below herself.
Oh, and what a bump there from Karma, able to spin out Garrett G, so he wasn't able to impact the play.
This one going back around. One goal right now.
Oh, great mind game from Pluto there. Dapper actually turned left, expecting him to clear the ball to the opposite corner.
Pluto passing to Karma. They need a goal just to keep their tournament lives alive. Tournament lives alive, yeah, something like that. Garrett and Dapper. If they score right here, that's the end of the series, but he plays it over the top, and Garrett, they all thought it was going closer. We've got overtime. The next goal either knocks Splyce and keeps Splyce in second place or secures them for Game 5.
Yeah, we're going to see here Garrett and Dapper are playing more patiently than they have before. Oh, that was a close opportunity.
Looking for a breakaway opportunity, possibly just wanting the quick, simple goal. They don't need the flashy stuff we saw at the beginning of Game 2. Any goal will win them the game right now. The thing is, they have to stay away. If they have to keep Splyce from scoring, they don't want to have to do another game. They don't want to have to try this one more time. They'd like to finish it off right now, but Splyce is fighting tooth and nail for that first place seed. They want to be the Chicago champions here.
And Garrett G and Dapper, we see them so confident in their ability to intercept Pluto and Karma's clears, and that's why they're putting so many players in the other team half. They're playing just, you know, all-out aggression right now, and it's quite refreshing to see how good Pluto and Karma are dealing with two offensive juggernauts.
They are playing well. The defense holds on for them. Bit of bona fide ping pong happening when both teams are just clearing the ball back and forth. And that happens a lot when people are thinking very defensively and not wanting to make mistakes. Pluto and Karma now both on their back wall. This is not good positioning. If Garrett could be able to turn it around and finish this one off, he does turn around, send this one up. And he might have a second touch. Both players still in the corner. This positioning from the team that we've been praising the defense of is not the best, but Pluto still is able to get it out and get it away. And now Dapper crossing the field again. The ball is spending so much time in the orange. I think the only way that Splyce is scoring right now is on a breakaway, on just on a double commit.
Right.
This bad positioning on both sides can happen, either on the defense of Splyce or on the offense of DAPG, and finally you see them breaking out into the blue. Can Karma do anything with this? No, it's Garrett G away. Pluto plays it over the top, and now it's just Dapper in the back. Can Splyce stay alive? They're so close to scoring here as they're able to just slowly whittle down the defense, but Pluto getting demoed there. So much more space to Garrett. And they're trying to push this one around. 2 minutes of overtime we've had already, Quinn.
Right, Pluto and Karma's approach to this game defensively is just as legitimate as Garrett and Dapper, if not more, due to the riskiness that is inherent in 2v2.
Pluto and Garrett in the corner here. Dapper falls back to his own net. And Karma trying to take a shot, but Dapper will clear this one. And now Pluto back towards Karma. Shot towards net. Is Garrett G there? It's wide anyways. He didn't quite have the height, but she didn't have the accuracy. Now Dapper to set this one high. Pluto sits in the box. Waits for the soft touch. Garrett will play to the side. Both teams so defensively minded right now. Pluto going for the bump on Dapper. That's about the most aggressive move we've seen from Splyce all overtime long. Dapper looking for a goalie as well, but there's nobody home. Gets the demo onto Karma. It's just Pluto right now. Garrett wins out the 50-50. Karma spawns right in front of the ball. What a play. That is just the most absolutely fortunate of things that could have happened in this situation. But Garrett now, the defense is still a little bit confused because of that demolition. They're finally starting to sort themselves out, but 3 minutes of overtime now, Quinn.
Yeah, and we're starting to see Dapper and Garrett really not using that. They don't utilize each other at all because they don't want to concede and take a risk, which would put both of them on offense and unable to defend the goal, really. So you see Dapper and Garrett going for these solo plays. They're trying to win 1v2 situations all by themselves. They're trying to, you know, go for air dribbles, just go for touches and draw the defense out.
Garrett puts it in. The final dealy. The defense cracks here from Splyce. Just watch the zone from Dapper, the setup, and then the zone on Karma. She had to jump to get away from him, so she can't get up in the air. Garrett puts it in, and DAPG takes the win here in Chicago.
It took 8 minutes and 40 seconds to score 1 goal, but we finally do have our champions and the #1 seed to come out of the Midwest Regional here of the Universal Open for Rocket League. There's our teams right there. As you can see, a little bit of hugs and good sportsmanship between the two folks, and we're going to check out the stats right here. 11 shots to 4. DAPG just taking the ball and keeping it on Splyce's side the entire game.
I don't think most of those shots were really meant to actually go in. I think most of it was just pressure, trying to wait for Karma and Pluto to break. And 8 minutes later, that's what it took. That was some fantastic defense there from Splyce.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Okay, guys, well, let's take a look at our final brackets presented by American Sail. Then, as you see, DAPG wins over Splyce 3-1. Now, of course, both DAPG and Splyce have qualified for the grand finals in Santa Ana, California at the end of the month, but DAPG, of course, advancing as the #1 seed from the Midwest Regional, and they get themselves that critical seeding spot in the grand finals at the end of the month. But it looks like right now we've got Michael standing by for just a second with our players, but we do want to crown our players of the match and give you guys a bit more information as to what's going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. We'll crown our Lexus player of the match. That, of course, is going to be Dapper, and yeah, you can see he had what an unbelievable match. So talk about these guys for me. Wrap up a little bit. What made these guys so strong?
I mean, honestly, I feel like a lot of it is each other and their mechanical strength. When you're on a 2v2, to say that, like, this was the player of the match, unless he's making the ridiculous one-nuts plays, it looks like Garrett G is actually our player of the week. But this plays exactly into what I'm saying. Exactly what I'm saying right now. These guys, their strength is each other. Either one of these guys could be the star player on the team, and you wouldn't know it because they need each other so much.
Yeah, I think what Garrett G does best is just reading the play. I mentioned earlier, his defense is incredible, and you don't really actually get to see him go for these goal line saves or whatever. His defense is so good, he never is in a situation like that. I mean, you just see him constantly diffusing pressure again and again and again. And with how offensive DAPG were playing, it's a wonder they didn't have more counterattacks scored on them. And I think that speaks to how good Garrett G is at diffusing that pressure.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. All right, guys. Well, we want to let you all know that coming up next, for those of you who are watching on the NBC Sports app and also the Twitch app, we are going to have an awesome interview with our winners, DAPG, in just a moment. So hopefully you guys will be able to look forward to that. Also, don't forget the grand finals are coming up at the end of this month, August 26th and 27th in Santa Ana, California at the Esports Arena. As you can see, we'll be streaming starting at 8 p.m. Eastern on Twitch and NBC Sports app, along with a broadcast on NBC Sports all weekend long. It's been a pleasure bringing you guys these wonderful matches here at the Universal Open for Rocket League. I'm Kevin Naki for the rest of your hosts. Have a great night.
I'm still